Esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. Esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation. Esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. Esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation. Esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. Esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation. Esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. Esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.
Okay. I can at least see my webcam and your webcam.
Well, you know, shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, apparently I'm online. Well, welcome guys to StarLadder Hearthstone Kickoff Season 1. And this is the Group A. and we'll be going with the winner matches between Stanislav Sivka and Kolento, because those two guys already played their 2 matches. And Stanislav won against Stripecrow with a 3-2 result, which was really close when he was playing his priest. So that was kind of a really risky situation to take the priest, and I'm curious if it worked against Kolento, because the priest might be a really weak link in the whole lineup. Then we have Kolento, who just defeated the French Open qualifier player Calax, who was playing a combo Warlock, and it felt really short to Kolento's Patron warrior, who got almost the biggest combo in his fourth game. The whole match was 4-1 for Kolento after a Emperor turn, which enabled a Warzone commander with a Floating Berserker, a free Dread Corsair into Taskmaster Whirlwind with Depthspite, which was around 33 damage, if I remember correctly. So, kinda a big swing for Kolento in that game. But now we see that Sivka is playing his Patron warrior against Kolento's rogue, and this matchup might be going really well for Kolento with his rogue. But this requires at least a little setup with the Blade Flurries and Deadly Poisons, or the oil. We can see already an oil in the Kolento's hand. He also has the coin, and this is an interesting situation when both players want to get the coin, because it's more important for the combo decks than usual, So Kolento's will be doing nothing until turn 3, when he can coin out the Pulse Shredder, but I'm not sure if he will be doing that. He got a Farseer, so at least he's not blank on turn 3, because otherwise he would have played the Fan of Knights, which is a liability in this matchup against Patrons, because you can't really use that after there's a Floating Berserker or Patrons on board. So you want to use the Fan of Knives before those hit the board. For Stanislav's side, this is quite an easy turn, I would say. You can't really play around Deadly Poisons, so you just have to play the Acolyte of Pain. You have no activators also. Other option is to play the Fiery War Axe into Dread Corsair for 1 mana, but then it's the same situation with the Acolyte of Pain. It dies to a single Deadly Poison. And by the way, we have a slight internet problem with Kaldi here, so I'm casting this alone, and probably Monk will join me at some point of the broadcast, so it will be better. Kolento is in a spot where he would really use a backstab, but in this situation I think he might actually go for a coin prep sprint, or for a prep coin sprint. It's also great. But in general, a coin prep sprint would give him 4 cards when he will be at 3-6. He will be at maximum 10, so then he will burn 1 card. I don't think that's a viable option here. So if he goes for the oil this turn, he doesn't have a full value out of the oil, and basically he goes just on 1 mana minion, which is not that great. But at least we know that Stancifka knows that the hand from Kolento is really bad, so he doesn't want to play anything on board which just dies to the Red Corsair and the weapon. This means a few turns for Sivka to actually set up a better situation for him. The 1 armor is kinda unwieldy because it blocks the Battle Rage easily. Not playing a minion by Kolento is also really smart, because then the weapon can be used, so there's no Battle Rage incoming.
What now?
I think that Stancifka might just repeat the last turn. So just play another Dread Corsair, go for one with the Armor Smith, use the weapon on Kolento's face, and that's basically it. Playing the Acolyte of now might be kinda weird, because otherwise, if he should have done that like the turn before playing the Dread Corsair. I mean, instead of the first Dread Corsair, then just using it right now. Stan did draw the Pirate of his own for a second activator. I mean, for the first activator for a second oil, but he doesn't have the oil anyway. What he lacks is a Blade Flurry here.
Pay attention, class.
Seeing the card like Violet Teacher against your Patron might signalize that Kolento doesn't want to play any kind of spells next turn. I mean, well, maybe next turn he actually can, because even with Emperor, Stancifka will not be able to pull off the combo with a Patron and Warsaw Commander until turn 7. So it might be actually really a great move to play the Violet Teacher on turn 4, to spam spells on turn 5, so you can make favorable trades with the minions you will get for free, of course, if the Violet Teacher will be still alive. This is a really tough turn for Stanislav, but Kolento is really low, 15 HP, and the problem with the rogue is the fact that he doesn't have any kind of taunts. So this leaves an open wide road to a super high damage combo for the Patron warrior. But as you can see, Stanislav is running out of steam. Kolento might be thinking that the last two cards in Stanislav's hand might be either Battle Rage or just parts for the combos, like double Warsaw Commander, maybe double Patron. Who knows what sits in Kolento's head? At least I don't know. Double Farces though are really nice for Kolento, might give him the edge here in this situation when Stanislav will be going into a full all-in move to just play for lethal at some point. Especially with the weapon, with the second weapon, just can push for 8 damage. So those two farces will almost negate the effect of the full depth spite. There's the first Warsaw Commander, but the Battle Rage is so bad in this situation. The armor, as you can see, the armor is a problem for Stanislav. He really didn't want to get the armor. This is really a tough turn for Stanislav. I think you should go with the Death Spider anyway. Death Spider and go face. Because you don't really care about the Violet Teacher, and the Whirlwind effect will kill the Palliative Shredder next turn anyway. Kolento will just play both farces to be out of reach, potentially, of course, because it's turn 7, so there might be an option of one Frauding Berserker, but it's still not enough to actually kill Stancifka. I mean, to kill Kolento right on the spot with only 6 creatures on board, because there's like basically how much damage possible? We have, in theory, let's say there's an Floating Berserker instead of the Acolyte of Pain. So you drop Warsaw Commander, Floating Berserker, play one Whirlwind, which gives +7, so that's 9 damage. Then 4 creatures remaining, so the second Deathspite and Whirlwind actually gives you lethal. So that was a little low possibility of winning this game right now. Oh wow, now this getting that one-eyed cheat is one of the worst minions for Kolento. Triple Whirlwind to clear the board makes this game really hard for Kolento to win, but there's the second oil. But this will be really hard for Kolento to change the situation. Like he had the board, he had the still full combination of minions, 6 minions on board, and he lost all of them in one turn. Let's see what Stanislav's options are here. He lost 2 Whirlwinds, 1 Deathspite, so the only option to combo somehow the Patrons is Inner Rages, because he didn't use a single one yet, and second Deathspite, and that's it. So it doesn't seem so good for Stanislav at this point, but Kolento is really low, running at 12 HP, and I don't think he plays any anti-heal bots when he plays double Farseers. So playing here aggressively might be the best option, even if you leave the loot core alive. Kolento goes for the less aggressive option, with just clearing the minions and go for the second oil to deal damage. But the problem is that Stanislav has the execute, so he can use the Inner Rage and execute to kill his opponent, or he just can drop Grim Patron with double Inner Rages to make the board really hard to clear. But at the same point, what I'm talking about is lethal anyway. That's 13 damage, so one overkill for Stanislav, and we'll be jumping into game 3, which might be the final one.
Esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. Esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation. Esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. Esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.
Hi guys, I have no idea if you can hear me. I can type on the screen though. Well, this is awkward. I have no idea what's going on, but I guess I'm online. We can see Monk. But I guess we have the same problem as we had with Kaldi. Can't really get the interaction going between both casters. So, well, this is awkward. Hi, Monk. We just can wave to each other. Well, you know, sometimes this thing happen, especially with Skype. So I think we just going into the game again solo. I hope you guys will enjoy that. We'll be jumping now. This is Stancifka's third game against Kolento, and he's already 2-0 up, and he's playing with the priest, which was the breaking point against Stripe Grow, because he lost 2 times with the priest already. So, in general, this priest is 1-2 in matches, but he just wants to win one game with the priest. And of course, against the rogue, it might be one of the worst, if not the worst matchup of all time when it comes to the priest matchups. Maybe it's slightly worse against handlock, but who knows? Some handlocks are dropping Jiraxes, so I have no idea how this will work for Stanisław in case of matchups. We know that Kolento is using the Malgus Warlock, which is pretty strong against Priest too. Deadly Poison will take the Priestess life for just one single point of durability and half of a card. Stanisław did draw both Ancient Blade Masters, but he's lacking the one crucial card, which is for 0 mana, and its name is Circle of Healing. But he can still go for the Light of Nar, which will be cast immediately on the single Ancient Blade Master. It's actually a really cool interaction between the Light of Naru and the Ancient Blade Master, because if it would heal for 4, the Light Warden wouldn't be spawned at all. So in this situation, Kolento has a Fan of Knives for 2 damage, which can easily clear the Light Warden, deal 2 damage to the Ancient Blade Master, and then he can trade the weapon and the Foul Nose into the Blade Master to clear the board and maintain position probably during the next turn. And this is a huge swing because Stanisław lost 1 card just to nothing, and I mean by saying 1 card I mean the Light of Naru. So drawing a Eviscerate here, does it really matter? probably doesn't, but the problem is that Stanisław will just now have an easy trade with the Drake because he did draw the Circle of Healing, but does he want to do this? Double Shadow Word of Pain is pretty much dead in this matchup until there will be a Violet Teacher or a single Farseer on board. One cool thing about the Angel Blade Master is the fact that it's being wounded from the beginning of the game when it's being played, so backstep doesn't have really any kind of effect on the Angel Blade Master, but at the same time, still the backstep can be used as a combo enabler for Eviscerate, so in this situation, Kolento can just play Pulse Shredder, backstep on the Belcher and proceed with an Eviscerate to kill the Injured Blade Master. He decides to keep the backstep still up, so there will be no trade with the Pulse Shredder. Well, this is kind of unlucky for Stanisław. Now he would love to use the agent to trade with the drop, which would have been like a 2 HP one, but that's not the case. In this situation, I think you still have to use the heal to just be out of range of the dagger, and that's what actually Stanisław now does. But it's still a big problem for Stanisław to deal with. Kolento can just play minions and which are basically for attack and not easily removed by Stanisław Arsenal, because he knows that Stanisław is playing double Shadow Word of Pain. If he was watching closely the match against Strife Crow. Single backstep will ruin the day for the remains of the Belcher if Kolento wants to play it, but he keeps the backstep for that, which is kinda peculiar. I wonder why didn't he use the backstep for that minion? Probably just to enable the agent from his hand, so he has an easier clear right now. Kolento can play backstep on the Shrink Miser, agent, probably agent the slime, and proceed with the Pulse Shredder. Yep, that's the turn. So what should Stanisław do in this situation? Dr. Boom might help. That's not bad at all. Oh no, this is horrible. There's no easy way to clear a stealthed assassin for the Dr. Boom. So unless Kolento doesn't really want to use it this turn, the Dr. Boom will sit in Stanisław's hand until the assassin will be killed. And this is really awkward. Double preparations for Kolento, but 2 mana left, and he can't really play double preps into sprint because that's not how it works. So I guess this turn might be just
So many options.
go to face with the dagger and redagger, and that's basically it. You don't want to lose the assassin for just a free minion trade. And if you don't trade it right now, then you push your opponent to play a Holy Nova or maybe Pyromancer. Now that's a crucial information. Did Kolento spy on Stanisław during the game 1? And did he saw that Stanisław is using the Pyromancers? Stanisław chose chose to still play the Dr. Boom, even with the assassin on board, which enables an easy trade from Kolento. But Kolento's on 12 HP, which is kind of low, but at the same time, most of the priests have no burst at all, and we didn't see a single zombie chow, and Stanisław deck in the first game.
Too soon.
This was a huge assassin. 7 attack, 7-1 attack minion with a blade flurry for 7 damage, and probably not that it did clear the assassin. But Stanisław from full 30 HP was left at 9. This is just such a huge swing.
I have no time for games.
I don't think that Stanisław can turn the game around anyway, because the sap will just steal his whole turn.
I'm ready to
Sprint for 4 mana fits perfectly with the single sap in his hand,
I'm ready to learn.
which enables to spawn more minions, which basically say, I have more attack on board, and the second sap will just seal the deal here.
To learn.
Light bomb will not help, so I guess Stanisław will be sitting now at 2-1 again, the same situation with his priest.
Let me change your mind.
He will lose the game, but at least this is the worst matchup for the priest, and we'll be watching the priest again against other classes from Kolento, and my guess would be that Kolento will be using Warlock with the next match. So this is it.
Well played.
Eviscerate to the face, free attack from the newly equipped dagger, and Agent is finishing the job. GG to Kolento, it's 2-1 for Stancifka, and we'll be jumping to the next game very shortly. Hi guys, welcome back after this short break, and we'll be proceeding to the game 3 between Stancifka and Kolento in our StarLadder Kickoff Season 1 for Hearthstone. This is Group A between Kolento, Strifecrow, Stancifka and Kalax, and this is the winner's match between Kolento and Stancifka. After this we'll be seeing Strifecrow versus Kalax to see who is the person that will not advance as the first one from this group. But now we have this the third game between Kolento and Stancifka, and Stancifka wants to switch the decks. Because he was playing the priest in the previous game, and now he did change for his mage, for his molten giant mage, which is a really interesting to see in action and to cast. And as you can see, I'm still casting alone, so I'll be doing my best, and I hope you will be just, you know, enjoying the game here with my commentary. Kolento playing the Malygos Warlock, one of the most brutal decks in the format, which can nuke his opponent for huge amount of damage with Malygos combo with Soulfires and Dark Bombs, especially after a Emperor Forsen was played on board to enable those nifty combos like before the Soulfire nerf, which was 0 mana if someone didn't play in the early stages of the game. It was like the one of the most, if not the best, Warlock cards. It was so powerful, it was actually played in every single deck. Never mind which kind of archetype were you playing, you were always using 2 Soulfires, which is just such a powerful card to gain tempo on board. So in this situation, Stanislav has to think, how do I deal with this board without really damaging myself too much? But at the same time, he wants to damage his hero because he plays the Molten Giants variant of Mage, but he didn't draw a single one yet. He has though a multiple secrets in his hand. This is one of the worst situations he can encounter. And what's Kolento's plan is just to draw as many cards as possible to dig to the Emperor and Malygos, and then just drop those as the bombs to finish the game, because he knows that there are ice blocks in Stancifka's deck, but at the same time he's able to burst his opponent down from a really high health just to finish him off till after the ice block breaks. The Cone of Cold's a card that was also nerfed after Mage being the best deck in the format. Cone of Cold was costing... Cone of Cold's cost was 3 mana instead of 4. It's a huge difference between those 2 mana costs. Still a really good card in that type of deck. Can basically skip your opponent's turn. It acts kinda like a pseudo heal, you know, because you can freeze 3 minions at the same time they're being damaged, so it's basically better than a heal. But in this situation, Stanislav's options are very limited. He just wants to get more cards, but the Black Queen Corruptor might just crush the dreams of the Acolyte of Pain, drawing more than one card. Well, there was the Farseer that actually can do the same.
So many possibilities.
I think that Kolento might think about tapping, so he have more options for his Emperor, and he can achieve also the same with Azure Drake, so that he then can trade the Farseer into the Acolyte of Pain. Okay, so I think Kolento's plan is to overdraw Stanislav here by 1 card, and the Echo of Medivh is being burned, so not that important kind of card in this situation, but still might be important because Stanislav has the second copy of Echo Medivh. Emperor seems like a good option, but the problem is there is 7, 9, 10, 12 damage staring at you. Blizzard seems like also an option, but after the patch changes, Blizzard still freezes the newly spawned imps from the Imp Gang boss. So in this situation, it's all matter of the question: does Stanislav value his health more than the cost of his cards in his hand? And I still think that the AoE effect will be more important. Kolento just wants to draw more cards to dig to that Malygos. One duplicate is being played by Stancifka. It might act as a bluff in this situation, but Kolento has the knowledge to know what he's battling against, so I don't think this will work at any point of the game. And he plays around Molten Giants too, so very carefully planned by Kolento, but in this situation doesn't really work much against a single Flame Strike, but still the Twilight Drake is at 5 HP, so it can be killed with the Flame Strike anyway. I mean with the second one. Emperor from Kolento's side will allow him to get one combo part cheaper, but it's still not enough. The second Flame Strike doesn't achieve almost anything, so the other options here are Blizzard to freeze the board and deal 2 damage.
What to do?
You can also play Cone of Cold into nothing really else. So there's almost no difference between Cone of Cold and Blizzard, because you will hero power something anyway next turn. So if you play Cone of Cold and hero power, let's say Emperor, or just Face, you ensure... Well, no, never mind, there's no Fausters in Kolento's deck, so the only option here that can ruin Stanislav's plan is in Defend of Argus. And what's funny enough, Kolento has 2 of those. And a Malygos already in hand.
Shield for Argus.
So the Emperor will have another effect on the hand of Kolento's, and this is getting really, really annoying for Stanislav. Free mana anti-kill bot, so basically a Farseer with 2.5 of the effect, 8 mana Malygos with 0 mana Dark Bomb. It's very powerful. Then you can squeeze a Dark Bomb and Hellfire at the same time at 10 AM at 10 mana, so that's basically 8 damage, and Hellfire is 8 damage, 16 damage just from the hand. This turn Kolento can push for 5 damage, and does he want to push for more? He can't really break anything. I mean, can't break the ice block because it's 13 damage with the Malygos Dark Bomb. So I guess that a Blackwing Technician might not be the worst here. Just to push for more damage. No, a slight misplay from Kolento here, but never mind, he was at full cards, so he had to play something. Doomsayer, second Doomsayer, that was needed long time ago, and now is still powerful, but at the same time, Kolento is not as
I wonder.
supposed to be rushing at the same pace as before. This has to be a turn with Doomsayer Frost Nova. Maybe. I was thinking about Cone of Cold, but no, never mind. There are only 2 Frost Novas here. You have to play Frost Nova because allowing 2 creatures basically trade into a single Doomsayer and then finish off the second one by casting a single Dark Bomb, I think it's too big of a threat. Let's see if there's an easy way to deal with this, and I think there is. You can just Siphon Soul one of the Doomsayers, silence the second one, because most likely you want to keep those Dark Bombs and Soulfires with Malygos. Or you can also break the Ice Block with single Malygos, because you can play Malygos into Hellfire Dark Bomb, but then you leave your opponent at 8 HP anyway. So it's not so easy to break it again during next turn.
Almost out of time.
So Siphon Soul and Silence coming down to that pesky Doomsayers, but at the same time Kolento is giving 2 additional Doomsayers to his opponent. So a second Doomsayer with Blizzard can come down and still try to trade for the entire board.
I wonder.
Well, this seems like a pretty tricky turn. You can also go for Doomsayer Frost Nova and Healbot, but I don't think he wants to play Healbot until he will draw a single Molten Giant. In this situation, Kolento will just pass the turn. There's nothing to be done with that kind of board. You know, there's still a single Doomsayer in your opponent's hand, and a duplicate on an Emperor Taurus hand. Now this might be also very tricky for Kolento. He knows that this is a second duplicate, so if he kills the Emperor, does it really matter? Well, it's a 5/5 minion, but doesn't really have that big of a impact after the first one was being played anyway. Interesting. I don't think that Kolento might actually kill it. And if he does, then what does he use for it? Abusive Sergeant with Big Game Hunter? Seems like a decent option. I think that's the best option here. So Blackwing Technician, Blackwing Corruptor, the face, because you want to leave your Dark Bomb in your hand. Well, Kolento disagrees. Place the Dark Bomb on the Emperor Forsen. Two Emperors in hand, that's not a common sight to behold. Stanisław is at 24 HP, but that doesn't really change much with the Hellfire Malagos play. This is still not Kolento is still not able to punch through the ice block. There are a few options here, like you know that your opponent is playing Molten Giants, so you might keep those big Chem Hunters for those, and there might be even more than 2 Molten Giants because of the Echo of Medivh, but Kolento at the same time knows that the one of Echo of Medivh was being burned when he was punching the Acolyte of Pain to overdraw Stanisław by 1 card. In this situation, Kolento just want to use the Mortal Coil to trade, probably? No, he used the... That's interesting. He didn't opt to trade the 5/4 for the 3/3 and the 4/4 to trade for the Emperor and Mortal Coil the Emperor. He can still use the Mortal Coil with conjunction with Malagos, so it actually deals 6 damage and kills almost every single creature in the game and still draws a card. This is a very interesting match. Like, it feels like the opponents are doing something on the board, but the board doesn't really change any much, because Stanisław is just replaying his Emperors by the turn. Four damage on the board and 8 damage from the hand, and nothing is really going on. Kolento knows that there's still 1 Doomsayer. He didn't even attack. Now this is a hilarious game. Why didn't Kolento attack? 24 health on Stancifka's side, and Kolento didn't opt to attack with his 4 attacked minions. It's not like he can play Molten Giants afterwards. Stanisław has 10 cards in his hand, can't replay the Ice Block because there's still 1 up. There are no other secrets he can play. I don't think even Kolento wants to use the Mortal Coil at all in this game. And again, Kolento doesn't attack the face of Stanisław here. This is really an interesting game, because what's going on here is that Kolento wants to fatigue the Molten Giant Mage, and even if Stanisław just plays a minion on board, Kolento will just trade for it, and the fact that Stanisław is at 24 HP makes his win condition not available to him at all. Because it's not... the Molten Giant can't even be played for 10 mana, and even if that would be possible, then Kolento can just trade for him with a big Game Hunter. That's it. So Stanisław is pushed to play some minions on board even when he doesn't want to play any minion on the board. Another Blackwing Corruptor being drawn. So this turn it will be just a trade for the Doomsayer and pass. And this is hilarious. How much cards are being left for Stanisław? I guess those are around 6, I guess. I think like Kolento needs to start acting right now. One of his options is to use Shadow Flame on the Blackwing Corruptor to kill the last remaining Emperor, but at the same time, you can also play Azure Drake, Dark Bomb, and Mortal Coil, and there are 3 cards left for each of those players. So the Dark Zone might be even more important later during the fatigue than now. Soulfire. Kolento would like to set up a 1 HP for his opponent for the fatigue to not break the ice block, but at the same time then he enables the Molten Giants. So this is really interesting to see how this game pans out in the end.
What to do? What to do?
I'm trying to figure out what is the best option here. But you can't really play the anti-keyboards. You can use the Frostbolts to kill the Azure Drake. Actually, you have to do it, because you can't really put leave anything on the board that has spell power, because the amount of spells that your opponent has.
Time runs out on me.
And at the same time, you can't play your win conditions, which are Mortal Giants. There's one mana Echo of Medivh, but Kolento will set up a tricky lethal during upcoming 2 turns, so Stanisław will be
I'm almost
pushed
out of cards.
to play the Molten Giants and the anti-killbot at the same turn, then to Echo of Medivh it. It's easily doable, so he will have a huge access to his health points. Alex Strasser is being drawn by Stanisław. Well, this might be a game-changing play. If Stanisław drops the Alex Strasser to just deal 15 damage to his opponent's face, we know that there's one last card in Kolento's hand. I mean, in the Kolento's deck. So there are at least one big game hunter in Kolento's hand, and Stanisław knows that. So if he plays Alex Strasser, he deals 15 points of damage, but then it dies to a single big game hunter. So he keeps So he keeps the Alex Strasser in his hand, and Kolento is brought down to fatigue this turn. His deck is empty, and now every single turn he will get 1 damage more than the previous one. So with the upcoming turn there will be only 1 damage rolling out, but then 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on damage each turn. And Stanisław is in the same position right now, and he doesn't have any more AoE area of effect damage effects. So his only AoE clear, well, not even a clear, it's just a freeze, is a single Frost Nova.
I wonder.
So what Kolento might try to do here is to break the ice block in 1 turn from 24 HP and leave possibly leave Stanisław at as low HP as it's possible. So the ideal scenario would be 1,
Time runs out on me.
but I don't think it's doable. There's 4, 8, 10 damage, 11 with the Malagos, and 8 damage to the face with Dark Bomb. But it's still not enough. And now, well, this is really interesting. First Beacon Hunter is being used. Anti-Q-Bot also is being used, but Kolento's running out of options. Each turn now Stancifka will be getting damage, and the amount of damage from Kolento's board is in this situation 4, 8, 10, 14, 17 damage. So Kolento is able to break the ice block next turn unless Stanisław will opt to choose Frost Nova as a spell this turn. But then at the same time he wants to play the Molten Giants. And he wants to use that in combination with the Frost Nova. So let's say that Kolento brings him down to 10 HP or 11 or even less, or whatever the number will be. Then Stancifka, perfect scenario would be Molten Giant, Anti-Heal Bot into Echo of Medivh, and then maybe, depending on what kind of HP points does he have, maybe play 1 or 2 giants more. It all depends on the HP points. And this might be one of the turns when Kolento is pushing to break the ice block. So now a single Dark Bomb has 8 damage. But Kolento is opting for Hellfire? Why? So this, because this deals exactly, that deals exactly 2 damage to kill Stanisław off with the ice block being overrun by fatigue. So perfectly played by Kolento here. This was an amazing match to watch, and really hilarious ending. I don't think that Stanisław had a chance in this matchup at all, because as you can see, this Mage game plan is to play the Molten Giants at the same time to finish at the same time with Echo of Medivh, just to finish his opponent with a big burst in the upcoming turn. But Kolento didn't even didn't give a chance for Stanisław to play the Molten Giants. So perfectly played by Kolento, an amazing match, and something that I hope that will be popping out on Reddit, because that's something you want to see at the highest level of Hearthstone. So this is 2-1 for Kolento, and we'll be jumping into quick ads and then resume with the maybe last game between those two players. Hi guys, so I guess we're back. Or maybe not. Hi guys, welcome back. This is game 4 between Kolento and Stancifka. We're just witnessing one of the best matches I ever saw between those two players. Well, and it ended up with Kolento being having the upper hand here, and now Stancifka will use again his Giant Mage, which seems to have a flaw when your opponent knows your game plan.
Speak to me.
Kolento playing super fast the early turns. Nothing really to think about when it comes the first turns with Patron, when you don't want to trigger your opponent having traps, secrets out from the mad scientist at the start of the game. So really well done by Kolento here. Next turn probably we'll just see a Gnomish Adventure, and that's basically it. The Acolyte of Pain will draw, well, let's say one card, because I'm not sure if... two cards, because I'm not sure if Stanisław is playing a Silence in his deck. I don't think so. So the Acolyte of Pain will have a lot of value. Second attack spike is being drawn, which is not that important. It's not at this set of the game. Now what Kolento has to do is just to cycle his deck through to get those combo parts in his hand. And 2 Battle Rages will help him with that really easy. Third Battle Rage for 2 cards, which is better than the Arcane Intellect when you think about it. So it's not that big, it's better than a Mage card in general in this situation. I was thinking maybe, what about slamming his own Gnomish Inventor to draw even more cards? 2 more cards, 3, 6, 7, 8. So Kolento would have been at 9 cards in this situation.
What now?
But at the same time, he knows that there's many AoE clears, and with Gnomish Inventor on 2 HP, this means that it can be easily killed. The whole board can be easily killed. Emperor on turn 5. One of the greatest moves in the modern Hearthstone. Flame Strike for 6 allows for bigger shenanigans even. But I guess Kolento will just use his minions to clear the board here. Unless he will trade only the Acolyte of Pain and Death's Bite for the Emperor. Probably will depend on the kind of draw that he will get. Because the Execute might be left in the hand for a Doomsayer or Giants. 2 more cantrips being drawn. 3, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand, so probably a Acolyte of Pain will be sacrificed here to gain 2 points of armor and cycle more. And this is the second time Stanisław has 3 Emperor's Forzans in his deck. Let's see if he'll actually play it. He will. So we'll have a 5 mana Emperor Forzan, which is hilarious because that's you know, it's not often what you see when there's an Emperor on board and an Emperor in hand, and it actually decreases the cost of the Emperor, so the Emperor costs less and then he makes the other cards cost less. So, you know, Emperorception, you might say. I wonder if Kolento can pull the same shenanigans in this game like in the last one. I guess he can. Because he's this deck is the same kind as the Malygos Warlock, which is combo based. So he can just burst his opponent down from a really high health and then leave the rest to the fatigue damage. Sorry guys, my image just disappears for a second. Flame Strike for 5 mana seems like a good option. It gives an option to still develop
to
the
do?
board with Sunfury Protector, but you don't really want to do that, so I think drawing more cards might be an option.
Time runs out on me.
I'm not really sure about how Stancifka wants to play this game, because he's obviously planned to play Molten Giants last time, didn't work. So by playing the Ancient Healbot, he's even further away from playing Molten Giants in this game than in the game before.
What now?
I guess Kolento can use the same strategy in this game as the game before, and it probably will work to the same extent as last time.
I must choose.
I just wonder when Kolento will stop attacking his opponent. I will just armor up each turn, because that's this way we'll actually have he will be out of reach of the fatigue at some point of the game really easily.
I wonder.
If the Emperor we played this turn, that doesn't really achieve much anyway, because most of the cards that are in Stanislav's hand doesn't have high impact on the board or in the game at all. And he has to keep the Flame Strike for the Patron turn, if even Kolento will want to play the Patrons at all in this game, unless he just goes for the 1 damage, 3 damage for his opponent. I mean, for 1 or 2 HP for his opponent being left, so have to see. And now Kolento did overdraw by 1 card, if I'm not mistaken. So he burned an Emperor Forsen.
I wonder.
This might be the turn when Kolento stops attacking. It was around the same amount of damage last time in the last match. So it was 24, but as you can see, Kolento values the Death Spite being on 1 durability, so he can combo out during the upcoming turns. So Stancifka is drawing for more cards, but it's actually lacking any kind of pressure. So playing anything here doesn't really make much sense. Doomsayer with Frost Nova doesn't achieve anything. Emperor might be the best option here. Emperor Nova? No, you have to keep Nova.
Time runs out on me.
Plays the first Flame Strike that was due with the reduced cost to kill the first Patron. So actually it's done the job, because it killed the first Patron, the first wave, when you could say so, but it was only 1 minion.
What now?
He still lacks the Warzone Commander, and he doesn't want to attack with Depth Spite. So now this might be just drop something on board, armor up, and pass turn.
My blade be thirsty.
For Stanisław here, it didn't really change much.
What to do? What to do?
He doesn't have win conditions, and the single Emperor Frozen, as good as it is, as good as his effect is, it really doesn't change anything on the board. So I guess,
I wonder.
but it might be played anyway. It might be just an Emperor into anti-Healbot. Maybe anti-Healbot will be left for the Echo Medivh, but then he knows already how Kolento wants to win this game, and this is by breaking the ice block with fatigue damage.
The end is coming!
And Kolento is at pretty high health with 45 HP. First Warzone Commander is being drawn, but the road to fatigue is still long away, far away.
What
One execute is
now?
in Kolento's hands. I actually might think that a single Whirlwind might be used here to enable the execute and just armor up.
What now?
Maybe actually Depth Spider will be used, because then you can equip the another weapon. But you don't really want to push for damage, because you don't want Stanisław to play any Molten Giants. So I guess the first option I said that with the Whirlwind execute might be the best. Kolento doesn't want to use the execute at all, so he doesn't want to clear the Doomsayer either. Which is fine, because we know what Kolento's plan is. So we see this is really hard to cast, you know, because it's basically the same every turn. Armor up, play a card so he doesn't overdraw. I guess
What
Grommash might be in
now?
order too, in this turn. Grommash trade, armor up, pass. Then you leave your opponent with a huge threat, which will be standing doing nothing during the upcoming turns. Because Kolento doesn't want to drop Stanisław under 21 health points, because then he can just play a Molten Giants for 10 mana.
I must choose. I can wait no longer.
And he actually attacks into Stanisław's face. Which is interesting. Oh, right, because there's a duplicate on board, so killing them at the anti-Healbot didn't really make any sense. The second Doomsayer doesn't really achieve much without the freeze. So if Stanisław opts to play Doomsayer, he has to play Sunfear Protector on the anti-kill bot. Oh, well, on the Doomsayer too. Echo of Medic doing some work. But this is really, really weird to watch. You didn't see that kind of boss every single game. Second Warzone Commander. You can kill one of the Doomsayers with your Grommash, then kill the second one with an Execute from Whirlwind. I guess this is not the option that Kolento wants, so he will just pass the turn here with armor up. He has 9 cards, so he doesn't even want to play a single card on the board. And if he uses his resources to kill the Doomsayers, then the minions that will be killed by the Doomsayer will trade into the Grommash anyway.
Forward! A fight! Everyone, get in!
He goes for the clear though with the Whirlwind and Death Spite effect. So he wants to spawn the full board, but then he will get killed by the second Flame Strike. The duplicate did work on anti-kill because it was the card being played first. Let's see if Kolento managed to kill every single target, and he breaks the Ice Block this turn. With 3 anti-kill bots, Flame Strike for 6 mana, he can't really play around
What to do?
the
What to
board
do?
and around the weapons from Kolento's hand. So if he plays both anti-kill bots, he can kill 2 of the patrons. So this allows Kolento to deal at least 18 damage, so that's more than the double anti-kill bots are healing themselves. So Flame Strike has to be an option here. Then to kill the Grommash with your remains on board and die to weapon next turn. Unless, of course, there's a Sunfear Protector.
I'm almost out of cards.
Fortunately for Kolento, Stanisław didn't draw his Molten Giants yet. And this is lethal in this situation. Warzone Commander, X, then you kill one of the taunts with your Loot Hoarder, and go with the Dread Corsair to kill his opponent. So Kolento will be taking the match here 3-1, and as you can see, the
Blood and blood.
the deck that Stancifka plays, both Priest and Mage, are having a hard time when someone actually knows your strategy.
Back to work.
Oh wait, there's a second icon. Never mind. Didn't see the icon on the screen. So still, match going strong. And Stanisław has the option to kill himself with high amount of anti-kill bots. And this is how much damage. This is 2, 5, 7, 10, 12 damage this turn. That's still not enough. 13 Berserker has to be played anyway.
What now?
I guess you can, if you play the Floating Berserker, you don't have an option to win the game anymore, because a single AoE effect will just kill the board and leave you without options.
Choose. The blade be thirsty.
Still Kolento knows that there's an Alex Straza in Stancifka's deck and one anti-keyboard left from the Echo of Medivh. Kind of code stops the minions from attacking for one turn. Second anti-keyboard goes down, and this is getting ridiculous. Next turn, Stancifka can Echo of Medivh, 2 heal bots, well, 1 after the attack. So Blizzard this turn, attack for 3 to the face, and that's basically game. So Kolento loses this time, 2-2, Stancifka takes the game with the Mage, so his priest is being left against Kolento's Patron warrior, and as we all know, this might go either way, because the kind priest is lacking a high amount of burst, but at the same time it can easily clear the patrons after being played with Light Bomb or a Circle of Healing with Aukenai. So we'll have to see how this game pans out after a quick short break.
Victory or death!
The light shall bring victory.
Okay, so we're going to the last match between those two guys. Kolento versus Stancifka. And this time we'll be seeing the priest.
I must consider.
We'll be seeing the priest again against the Patron warrior. And the Patron warrior has double executes, which might be very powerful against the Inshot Blade Masters, but this time Stanisław doesn't have them in the opening hand.
I must consider.
Fortunately, I'm still alone to cast this match, so I will be trying to do my best in this not easy situation. Stancifka, without any real options, has priestess that doesn't have any value against the classes like the warriors, when a single enemy weapon can just whiff the priestess down from the board. This is another pass turn. Well, those matches are really exciting. PogChamp.
Mind if I roll knee?
Loot Holder, a decent option before turn 6 when a couple Shadow Priests can come down. But that still doesn't really change anything for Stanisław here. I guess this is another turn when he will just pass. Maybe he will consider playing the Auchenai, but at the same time he will need the Auchenai with Circle to kill the Patrons, because he doesn't have any other really options apart from the Light Bomb, but the Light Bomb doesn't really kill the Warlocks Commander, so this isn't doing its job in general. Kolento might just go for the Death Spite to the face to set up Patrons for next turn. He knows then that he can't lose to a single Light Bomb on turn 5. So we see Stanisław first play in this game, which is turn 5 Belcher. Fascinating. Death Spite is being set up. And I think Patron, but this is the matchup when actually the Patrons are being used as charge only minions. It's not like the Druid matchup when you can just spawn the minions on board and not really care, because Druid has a hard time dealing with creatures. But Priest, on the other hand, can have a really easy time with doing massive AoE damage.
What now?
Kolento drawing just more cards, and as I said before, he wants just to deal massive amount of damage with the Floating Berserker and Patron in the upcoming turns, but he didn't really draw the most important part of the combo, which is Warlocks Commander. So the weapon is kind of being held down with its possibilities. For turn 7, we might see just a Gnomish Inventor, Hero Power Pass. Stancifka is kind of happy that Kolento did armor up, because he can attack for 2 damage, so Kolento won't be able to use Battle Rage again. Well, Stancifka does damage to his own minion just to prevent the Patrons to spawn more minions, which is clever, but also this also bluffs that Stanisław doesn't have a way to clear the Patrons, which is very clever, because then he can just use the Light Bomb to clear the Patrons anyway.
What now?
Interesting choice, because now Kolento might be thinking about the bluff. But probably he'll just go with the Gnomish Inventor to draw more cards and draw the Warlord Commander anyway, because that's his first part. That's what he needs the most, the Warlord Commander. Battle rate. That's the second battle rate, so it doesn't do much. You might also need the first whirlwind here to enable the battle rages.
I must consider.
Now this is really not an easy turn for Stanislav. Sylvanas might be the best option anyway. Maybe Pyromancer with Shadow Madness on
Quickly.
the Nomish Inventor to trade for the Taskmaster with the little slime. So this way there's no way to play Patrons on his opponent, for his opponent to spawn more Patrons, because there's only one mana, free attack minion on board. This is also the reason why the Priestess wasn't being played in the first place, to draw more cards. Kolento still without the card that he really needs, which is Warlord Commander. 15 cards being left. So now his options are to play Gromesh and just kill the Pyromancer, or go with the Loot Hoarder. Nah. Oh, well, he can play Floating Berserker, kill the Pyromancer, and Battle Rage for 2 cards.
Mind if I roll need? Is someone injured?
I guess this is the turn when you start drawing cards with the Priestess, because you're in such a bad position. And you have to draw anything relevant. Playing shields on your Priestess doesn't really achieve much anything. I mean, doesn't achieve much, so... You want to damage your Priestess? Not really. I think this is just skip the turn. And there is the Warlord Commander showing up. But still, we lack Inner Rages or Emperor to make like a huge swing combo turn. But at least Kolento can play the first Battle Rage to draw 1 card, to just cycle through the deck. What are other options? Gromesh to kill the Pyromancer, the same as last turn. As we can see, Kolento is just thinking about what can he do if he draws an Emperor, or he can draw a Inner Rage or Whirlwind to make the most damage out of the situation. By the way, Patron into Inner Rage, that's interesting. Will Stancifka do it? I think he actually will. This is amazing. Because he has the Pyromancer on board, so you can heal your Pyromancer, play Inner Rage, and spawn insane amount of patrons in this game. Well, this is hilarious. And he doesn't even need to draw to use the enrage here. Because if he fills up the board, then the Death Spider can be used to kill one patron. Well, this is one of the ways in which you can win in this game with Priest, just to steal a patron and have a Pyromancer on board, and that's it.
I wonder.
So Warsong Commander Floating Berserker, how much damage is that? Armor Smith into Battle Rage into probably a Whirlwind to deal probably not lethal, weapon count. This gives +7 to the Floating Berserker, no, +8. So a second Whirlwind would give +9, so this is 19, 20, still 4 off. So what can Stancifka do here? He's dead to a single Gromash with Enrage. But he has also 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 damage. He can steal Warzone Commander to give his newly bred patrons charge. But does that really help? Not really. What's fun is that if he would like to steal one of the minions, he can steal the Floating Berserker and attack with it. Because he can Sylvanas kill the Warzone Commander and then Shadow Word Death his Sylvanas to steal the Floating Berserker and attack for 14 damage. Because the minion that is being spawned with charge still has the charge in his description. To be honest, I don't think there was another way to finish the game by Stanisław other than just stealing the patrons.
I wonder. What now?
In this situation, Kolento is just put behind, like his back is put against the wall. Can't really do much. He's dead next turn. Can't really deal with the minions. He used one execute. That's just identical to mirror match when one of the players will get his patrons first out. So in this situation, this is 12, 16 damage, so a single Shadow Word Pain will seal the deal. Pyromancer doesn't help it. A Aokenai with hero power is not enough too, because then you have 3, 6, 9, 13, 15 damage, so 1 of lethal in this situation. And he can still lose to a single Gromash. What if Sylvanas Shadow Word Death takes the patron, Dread Corsair, and then you have lethal. This is a 50-50 lethal. And it does miss. So is this game for Kolento then? What are the options? You can play Warzone Commander, Floating Berserker. Oh, never mind. There's the inner rage for Gromesh, so this was super close and a 50-50 for Stanislav to advance from the group, but now Gromesh will steal the game and finish off Stanislav with a 15 damage swing in overall, but 12 is enough. Wow, what a game. What a game. A 50-50 roll that didn't work. We'll be right back, guys, after a short commercial break. This is StarLadder Kickoff Season 1.